Straight ahead on OC News, just in, a Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy is killed in line of duty. We'll have the details.
Hispanic Heritage Month is jam-packed with events and speakers on the campus of Cal State Fullerton. Hurricane Matthew is bearing down on Florida.
And the new student president on our campus is ready to make her mark. These stories plus sports and entertainment, OC News starts right now. Hello and welcome to OC News. I'm Raylan Taylor.
And I'm Alan Huerta. OC News is brought to you by the broadcast journalism students at Cal State Fullerton.
Breaking news out of Lancaster. A Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputy was shot and killed in response to a residential burglary. 53-year-old Sergeant Steve Owen was shot in the face after reporting to the burglary around 12:30 this afternoon. The suspect was taken into custody shortly after 2 p.m. after forcing his way into a home with 2 hostages and later surrendering. Owen was taken to Antelope Valley Hospital in grave condition, where he was met by his wife, son, daughter, and mother before he died. Owen was a 29-year department veteran and a 2014 Medal of Valor recipient. Being such a diverse campus, Cal State Fullerton is doing its part in celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. Our reporter Natalie Aguirre is live from the kickoff event on campus.
Yes, thank you. And we're at the Fullerton Arboretum, where President Mildred Garcia is kicking off CSUF's Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. The program will be featuring poet, lyricist, and educator Denise Froman. As you can see, people are still getting here. The program will start at 5:30 and go until 7 p.m. And this is just one of the many programs that CSUF will be hosting as part of Hispanic Heritage Month. The event will go on until October 11th here at CSUF. That's all for me today. We're going back to you guys at the studio. Reporting for OC News, I'm Natalie Aguirre.
Thank you, Natalie. Student groups and departments are celebrating the achievements of Hispanics through a variety of programs continuing through October 11th. This year's theme is acknowledging our Latinx roots and celebrating our diversity with the inclusion of the term Latinx to include the transgender and gender fluid individuals among the Latino Hispanic population. The celebration started September 15th and will continue through October 15th. Not only are there events at Cal State Fullerton, but many cities throughout Southern California will host events all month long.
Hurricane Matthew has caused death and destruction in Haiti and is expected to make landfall in Florida tomorrow. Sarah Fenton has more details on the storm.
Thanks, Raylan. You're right. Hurricane Matthew has left a trail of destruction in Haiti, killing at least 7 people and damaging a key bridge that has connected one of its cities to the rest of the country. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the hurricane. Currently, it's making its way through the Bahamas today, and it should be making landfall in Florida by tomorrow morning. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the path and intensity of Hurricane Matthew to see which direction it's taking. Now we can see tomorrow it's going to make its way through the coast of Miami, making its way up the coast of Florida through Georgia on Saturday, and reaching the South Carolina and North Carolina on Sunday. We'll go ahead and take a look at rainfall and the rainfall that we should be expecting from the hurricane. Looking at it right now, we should have some considerably higher rainfall totals possible in localized spots. Some of the parts of Florida hitting 12 to 18 inches of rainfall. Nassau right now hitting 18 inches of rainfall. We could expect at least 2 to 3 inches when it hits Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the rain gusts that we have that should be hitting Florida. Miami starting at 50 to 60 mile per hour winds, and it's going to stay consistent with 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. Now Melbourne is starting low at 25 to 30 mile per hour winds, but it will pick up and should hit 60 to 75 mile per hour winds by 11 p.m. Thursday night. If we go ahead and take a look at Daytona and Orlando, it's going to average out around 20 to 25 mile per hour winds, and then Jacksonville starting at 20 to 25 miles per hour and staying the same. Now let's go ahead, and we're talking about Florida and how they're preparing for this hurricane that's about to hit. A lot of the local residents are going to the stores, gathering as much materials as they can right now before it hits tomorrow, even going to the gas stations. CNN reporter Reed Binion has more on the preparations that are taking place in Florida.
If you think you're going to have to evacuate, Go do it now before the roads get clogged.
Florida Governor Rick Scott warning residents to take evacuation orders seriously as Hurricane Matthew approaches the U.S.
Right now, we expect to see impacts all the way along Florida's east coast, from the Keys all the way up through Jacksonville.
Roadways already clogged in South Carolina. Governor Nikki Haley also issuing a warning amid coastal evacuations.
If you don't get out in time, you might actually get stuck. And I think that's worst case scenario, is to be stuck on the coast and have no place to go because you didn't meet the evacuation time.
Mandatory evacuation orders were also issued for parts of North Carolina, and all 3 states plus Georgia have declared states of emergency ahead of Hurricane Matthew, which proved deadly on its rampage through the Caribbean. With forecasters predicting that Matthew will brush up against the east coast of the United States this week, residents in those areas are preparing and stocking up on everything from groceries and water to fuel and cash.
I'm hearing a lot of screeching of tires, and I'm just waiting my time because I know it'll be worse tomorrow.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
With the vice presidential debate behind us and the second presidential debate coming up, politics are in full swing. We have Valeria Murguia with more.
Today in politics, we dive into the vice presidential debate with Governor Mike Pence and Senator Tim Kaine that was held on Tuesday. When Senator Kaine continued to prod Governor Pence about Donald Trump calling Mexican immigrants rapists, the Republican nominee dismissed him about bringing up the issue, that Mexican thing.
When Donald Trump says women should be punished, or Mexicans are rapists and criminals, or John McCain's not a hero, he is showing you who he is.
Senator, you whipped out that Mexican thing again. Look.
Can you defend it?
There are criminal aliens in this country, Tim, who have come into this country illegally, who are perpetrating violence and taking American lives.
You want to use a big tar brush against Mexicans?
He also said, and many of them are good people. You keep leaving that out of your quote. And if you want me to go there, I'll go there.
Governor Pence's statement became a trend on social media site Twitter. Hashtag that Mexican thing continued to trend, with a number of tweets adding their 2 cents on exactly what the phrase meant to them. The tweets read, hashtag that Mexican thing, where my mom was worked as a housekeeper for 25 years because her dream is to see her family's dream come true. VP debate. Hashtag that Mexican thing, when my dad was arrested, tattooed in Arizona in the 60s for his status, worked fields and night shift, raised 5 college grads. Who votes? Governor Pence redirected Senator Kaine's allegations and said they would like to reform the immigration system and people would be able to come to the country, but in the right way with proper security. He even offered to work together. Senator Kaine did not accept the invitation, instead reminded the audience that he is trying to cover up the statements Trump had said about Mexican immigrants.
We're going to reform the immigration system that we have where people can come into this country. That's the order that you should do it. Border security, removing criminal aliens, upholding the law, and then, Senator, I'll work with you when you go back to the Senate. I promise you, we'll work with you to reform the immigration system.
I look forward to working together in whatever capacities we serve in, but I just want to make it very, very clear that he's trying to fuzz up what Donald Trump has said. When Donald Trump spoke in Phoenix, he looked the audience in the eye and he said, no, we're building the wall and we're deporting everybody. He said, quote, they will all be gone.
Provoked Governor Pence about Donald Trump's previous comments, it may have not worked for him. Commentators and critics were at vote for Mr. Pence, saying that ultimately appeared more stately as he handled an unedible challenge with remarkable steadiness. Even presidential candidate Donald Trump had to give the win to vice president debate to Governor Pence.
I was very proud last night to watch Governor Mike Pence. He won, but he won on the issues. He won on, somebody said, won on style. The style doesn't matter. The issues, the policy matters. And he's getting tremendous reviews from me and everybody. He was great. He's been a wonderful choice.
In other news, presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has her own little helper. Her daughter, Chelsea Clinton, rallied voters in Iowa today, explaining that this election could be the most important the country has ever faced.
This election to me is about my children, because I know that whomever we elect will play a profound role in shaping the country, the world, and the future that they and their generation grow up in. And yet, I think even if I weren't a parent, I would believe this to be the most important presidential election of my lifetime. because I do worry that everything I care most about is at risk.
Clinton went on to encourage Iowans to vote early. Early voting opened up in Iowa September 29th and runs up to Election Day. We're getting closer and closer to Election Day. Former President Bill Clinton gave a piece of advice this morning to Youngstown in Idaho.
Is this a change election? You bet it is, but you got to pick the right change. I was talking to this friend of mine on the phone day before yesterday from Texas, and he's got great one-liners. I said, give me a one-liner I can use in my speech today. He said, in his Texas drawl, he says, if you don't want somebody to drive a truck off a cliff, don't give them the keys.
Elections are almost a month away. Don't forget to register to vote and tune in to the next couple of weeks of politics here on OC News. Back to you in the studio.
Coming up, the mysterious clowns that first appeared in 2014 are back and have parents and schools concerned. Later, we'll give you the scoop on the weather forecast for the upcoming week.
And we will discuss the Triple Threat program aiming to build athletics, academics, and art in Santa Ana. All of this and much more after the break.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No. He's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Doesn't see race. Love is love.
Creepy clown sightings are spreading across the U.S. and many have been capturing the unusual sightings on their phones. Raquel Navarro has more details.
Clown hysteria has taken the country by storm. It all started in South Carolina when residents claimed that clowns were trying to lure children into the woods. Since then, clown sightings have been reported in 24 states. The incidents have led to 2 arrests, a mass clown hunting at Penn State University, and a school ban on clown costumes. Here's Gareth Harries, the superintendent of schools in New Haven.
We're encouraging all students to refrain from wearing clown costumes or clown masks, even as a joke, to avoid any perceived threats. Any incident in which a student is found with clown-like apparel or other costumes that are perceived to be threatening, given this context, will be handled on a case-by-case basis. We are encouraging and asking parents to be our partners in this and help ensure that students are not getting clown masks or going to school with clown masks or wearing clown-like attire for their own safety and also for the overall school climate.
The panic, largely driven by pranksters, has yet to cause any serious injuries or deaths. If you scroll through one of the several recently created clown sighting Twitter accounts, you will find several people's documentation of their encounters with clowns in the wild. There have been no clown sightings reported in Orange County or Southern California.
I hope you enjoyed those fall-like temperatures because warmer weather is headed our way. Sarah Fenton has the forecast for the rest of the week.
Thanks, Alan. You're right. Unfortunately, we are saying goodbye to those cooler temperatures. And tomorrow, those warmer temperatures are going to start rolling back in, but we can hang on to those cool temperatures for a few more hours. Currently outside, we're at 76 degrees, dropping down to 57 degrees tonight as our low. Humidity at a low 47%. And you could expect that sunrise at 6:30 p.m. tonight. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our 5-day forecast to see when it'll start warming up. As you can see, on Thursday tomorrow, we will be at 88 degrees, dropping down to 58 degrees tomorrow night. Friday and Saturday, the warmest days of the week, topping out at 93 degrees. And then on Sunday, dropping down to 89 degrees, and Monday down to 83 degrees. So we will have a cool down at the end of the week, but we are warming up for the next few days. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our national forecast to see how the temperatures are throughout the country. As you can see, San Antonio at 90 degrees, Dallas at 93 degrees, pretty warm in Texas, but Billings, if you can see, 46 degrees. So if you like those cool temperatures, go to Billings. It's freezing out there. That's it for your weather forecast. Back to you guys.
Sooner or later, robots will be roaming the world with undeniably human-like characteristics. Not too long ago, we were introduced to Sophia the robot, and now today, we get a peek at Toyota's latest technology bit. Toyota is now offering a robot to be your friend during your car rides. If you need a companion for your commute to school, or just someone to tell your problems to when a friend or psychiatrist isn't available, Toyota Robot plays those exact roles just for you. The bionic companion dubs the name Kirobo Mini. The android is designed to interpret people's facial reactions to converse about how they are feeling, and even speaks and moves its heads. And we aren't too sure if this allows you to hop in the carpool lane, but one thing is for sure, the robot does keep you awake. It will come with a case that can be used as a car seat for the 4-inch friend in the cup holder of a vehicle. Isn't that just the most adorable thing ever? While Toyota is out there creating car friends, Facebook is empowering the world to stay connected through their new app called Messenger Lite. The new app serves as a standalone version of Messenger for Android. The purpose of the new feature of the Messenger is to cater to markets with slower than average internet speeds and basic Android smartphones. That's right, iPhones, we aren't worried about you this time around. People are able to quickly and easily send text, photos, and links to anyone using Messenger or Messenger Lite. You can expect the new application to hit the app stores in the coming months. While America is still trying to figure out if we're either swiping our cards or inserting our chips, a new rule is cracking down on prepaid cards. Prepaid cards are one of the fastest growing consumer financial products in the U.S. and tends to be popular amongst the unbanked and for those who does not qualify for a credit card. However, now the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau just laid out a new federal protection on prepaid accounts that require clear disclosures, limit fees and interest rates, and increase fraud protection. The new rules were first proposed back in 2014 and will take effect starting next year, just to make sure that customers can afford the payments before opening a new credit card account.
Forget your conventional mentoring programs. Triple Threat Mentoring uses energy, commitment, and teamwork through arts, athletics, and academics to make an impact on urban youth. Yesenia Gomez has more on this story. Yesenia?
2, 3, Super Kids!
Passion. That is the best word to describe Triple Threat, an out-of-the-ordinary mentoring program that uses individuals' passions to make an impact on youth.
The main way we do programming at Triple Threat is called passion-based programming, and that is whatever a volunteer is passionate about, we want to run a program with that.
In 2015, some of its staff members faced a difficult decision to follow their own passion and relocate to Santa Ana, California.
Yeah, we had everything. We had our deep network of people there. And we were very connected. I was actually been in like church world, so I was also a pastor for 15 plus years, and so we uprooted our whole network and we moved out here, and but the beautiful thing is like just the design of Triple Threat. It's designed to bring out what is good inside of people.
Yeah, no, it was a really tough decision as far as in do I want to leave the family and come out here and start something new in California? But I knew the question for me was, is there a need out there? And the need was do these kids out here in Santa Ana need help? And yeah, they did, and so that's why I came out here. That was the decision behind it.
They believe these kids have potential and skills, regardless of their economic background.
The kids who come from the lowest of the low income areas, because we believe that they have a tremendous amount of potential and talent and skill sets, and all we want to do are provide resources.
Yeah.
That's that simple for us. They're amazing. We want to say you guys are awesome, you have the skill set. We're just going to give you amazing people throughout the day to pour love into you, to encourage you, and to have a great time.
I can't wait to see where Triple Threat takes me. I've only been here for 2 months, and I felt like I've been here for a whole year. And yeah, Triple Threat is doing amazing things, and I just wanted to see it continue to prosper.
Reporting for OC News, I'm Yesenia Gomez.
Coming up, the ASI president discusses her plans for the upcoming semester. And longtime American Studies professor John Ibsen tells us about his journey at CSUF.
Later, find out which hip-hop rapper checked into rehab. And in sports, October here, which means the MLB postseason has begun. All of this and much more after the break.
It's what powers our journey to reach unimaginable heights. It fosters a sense of yearning to create, explore, and soar. It strengthens our will to climb to the top. It's the bedrock of our conviction that nothing's impossible. It transforms us and sets us free to thrive and build lives of purpose. Titan pride is at the heart of who we are.
When most people begin their careers, they never think their first job will also be their last. This is the case for one Cal State Fullerton professor whose career has spanned for over 4 decades. Naomi Menzer has more on the story.
Fall semester at Cal State Fullerton is often a new beginning to some and a continuing path for others. But for Dr. John Ibsen, who has taught here for 44 years, it is his way of life. That's right. Dr. Ibsen has taught American Studies since 1972 and is now an emeritus professor.
It was the good old boy network. I was hired because my dissertation supervisor knew the chair of the department here, and he put me on to so I did apply for the job.
He received his PhD in History of American Civilization from Brandeis University and shortly after applied to become a professor at Cal State Fullerton. He says he had no idea that his first job teaching would result in a lifetime career.
They were very, very different people, but I got along well with them, and I thought, well, this is going to be a great job. And I wasn't certain that I would keep this job for the rest of my career, but I quickly found out this was a great place for me to be.
Ibsen says he is proud of the work he has done and feels that he has made an impact on his students and colleagues. Dr. Ibsen is not only a profound professor, but also an accomplished author of several published books and articles. He will completely retire in 2019 and plans to continue his venture in writing and to travel with his beloved husband, Steve.
I'm satisfied with the job that I've done, but I'm ready to spend more of my intellectual time with my reading and with my research and my writing.
This is Naomi Menzer for OC News.
In sports, Fullerton soccer had a great weekend, and there is big news on and off the NBA floor. Also, the hunt for October is creating drama early in baseball's postseason.
Cal State Fullerton had a good weekend in soccer as both the men and women's teams started off the conference play with victories. Women's soccer first. The women's kicked off against UCR. They had been on a 4-game losing streak, but the ladies put that in the past. Under the 67th minute mark, Sarah Feiner hits her first goal of the season to put Fullerton up by 1. Just 12 minutes later, Maribel Morales, right there on the left, takes advantage of the clear path and makes a laser to the right side of the goal. The Lady Titans would walk off the field with a 2-0 victory. And now, we go to men's soccer.
Exciting matchup between Cal State Fullerton and Cal Poly as the regular season was finally underway. Both teams were aggressive in creating opportunities as here we see Diego Sanchez almost been inside the goal, but it just goes over. Despite Cal Poly's constant attack, the Titans always had a response. In the following possession after that miss, Fullerton leads a fast break that leads to this very important corner kick. Alex Yeoman, bang, right there with the 1-0 lead in the 28th minute on his first touch of the game. The orange and blue kept their foot on the gas, and in the 51st minute, Nicolo D'Amato pads up the scoreboard and gives the Titans a 2-0 cushion lead. Finally, Cody Wasaka was able to put his team on the board in the 76th minute, but it was too little too late from stopping Fullerton from opening conference play with the victory.
In the professionals, October is here, which means baseball playoffs. And already after one game, the drama and the excitement are already living up to the hype. Last night, in the American League wildcard game, an epic conclusion set the Blue Jays to their second consecutive division series. Let's check it out.
Double plays. Oh, there's a drive to deep left field, and the ball game is over.
Of course, every series has a storyline, and boy is this one messy. Blue Jays will now face the Texas Rangers, who have had bad blood since last year in the ALDS after Jose Bautista threw the bat flip heard around the world in Game 5. Things only snowballed from there as Bautista would eventually be hit with the 95-mile-per-hour pitch, which provoked him to slide hard into second baseman Rougned Odor, which instantly led to Odor's infamous punch to Bautista's face. Now they meet once again with much more pressure and much more at stake. Although it's difficult to pick a winner right now, one thing can be predicted, and it's that the matchup will be an emotional one that you won't want to miss. Also tonight, the National League wildcard game will feature two of the best pitchers in baseball in Madison Bumgarner and Jacob deGrom as the Giants and the Mets face off at 5:07 on ESPN. As baseball gets ready to wrap up, another sport is on the horizon and coming up fast. Basketball fans rejoice. The NBA is back in just 20 more days. Already we are starting to see some big changes. It began last night when the Houston Rockets hosted the New York Knicks. The biggest headline was not the Knicks' newly assembled super team or the game results, but rather what happened before the game. Players united in light of the recent social injustice protests. Both teams stood together with their arms over one another during the anthem, expressing the theme of unity. Other teams around the league also expressed the same sentiments through the same gesture. I think it's important to speak out because we're human, Warriors forward Draymond Green said during the team's media day. According to ESPN.com, Ethan Sherwood Strauss, there are a lot of changes that need to be made. Draymond Green and the Golden State Warriors were another team in action last night and gave the NBA fans a sneak peek of how dominant they may be this season. Warriors' Kevin Durant made his Oakland debut as he opened up the game with a three-pointer that just took off the team from there. They continued on a 20-7-5 run. The starting lineup stacked up the stat sheet as Durant went for 21, 7, and 7. Green had 8, 9, and 5. Thompson went off for 30 points and made 6 threes. And two-time reigning MVP champion Steph Curry went for 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. And that does it for sports today, guys. Back to you guys.
Cal State Fullerton's ASI president, Yanitza Berrios, is ready to make change and achieve her goals.
Being president is definitely a mix of emotions. Sometimes it's a little hard. I wouldn't say hard. It's different being a female president. I'm also the first female president in 6 years. So sometimes that can be a little intimidating. My favorite memory was on reveal night. I was overflowing with emotions. It's so stressful, overwhelming, exciting, scary. Right when they showed it, like just seeing our names and like seeing ours higher than the other ones, I went numb, and then I was just excited, and like Alex and I just hugged each other and we were yelling and screaming a lot, and just everyone coming up and like hugging us and congratulating us. So my 3 goals for the year, the first one is we want to create awareness of ASI and have a greater presence on campus, in the community, and in the CSU system. The second one is that we want to create a culture of transparency and accountability. And the third one is we want to research and assess different free service offerings.
Yanitza's best quality as president is that she's always empowering her team to do the job that they set out to do, which I think is great. And her work ethic is amazing.
I just want to feel like there's a positive energy and like excitement for ASI. So I would just want students to love ASI and be happy with everything ASI does, and to know everything that's available to them, and for them to like go to those events and enjoy it. I would feel most accomplished if it seems like students were happy with their experience here at Cal State Fullerton, and I was able to leave my mark that way.
Lovely. It's been quite a week for Kim and Kanye, but Carolina has more on the story.
Thanks, Raylan. It's only Wednesday, but it's already been a rough week in Hollywood. As you all know by now, Kim Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint in Paris on Sunday, which caused husband Kanye West to stop mid-performance to attend to his wife. Now Kanye is rescheduling some of the concert dates in his St. Pablo tour. According to a statement from Live Nation, the rapper's concerts originally scheduled for yesterday and tomorrow in Philadelphia and Detroit, have been pushed back to December. Kanye's tour is set to pick back up on October 7th in Chicago. And Scott Mescudi, also known as Kid Cudi, checked into rehab after what he described as a long battle with depression and suicidal thoughts on a post on Facebook. Scott said, "I am not at peace. I haven't been since you've known me. If I didn't come here, I would have done something to myself. I simply am a damaged human swimming in a pool of emotions every day of my life." However, in the same post, the artist said his new album is still on the way and he expects to be back in action soon. We wish him the best. Now, Ben Stiller opened up about his battle with prostate cancer last night on the Howard Stern Show. The Zoolander star revealed he was diagnosed with intermediately aggressive cancer at the age of 48. The actor, now 50, said it was a scary time for him, not knowing what was going to happen. Luckily, Stiller was able to detect the disease early on after undergoing a prostate-specific antigen or a PSA test during a yearly physical. Stiller talked about how the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force does not recommend taking the test at all, and the American Cancer Society says it should be done at age 50. Stiller, however, said he has been getting these tests done since he was 46, and had he waited until 50, he still would not have known. The actor says he thinks everyone should discuss the test with their doctors once they reach their 40s. Ben said, "I feel like the test saved my life." And now in some happier news, Tori Spelling is pregnant again. The Beverly Hills 90210 star revealed today that she is expecting baby number 5 with husband Dean McDermott. Spelling said to People magazine, "It was a total surprise, but we always wanted a big family. I'm really excited." The couple, who suffered from a cheating scandal 2 years ago, seems to be doing better than ever. They just celebrated their 10th anniversary in May and say this baby is meant to be. A huge congratulations to them, and some exciting news for another couple. Orange is the New Black Samir Wiley is engaged to the show's writer Lauren Morelli. Wiley took to Instagram to announce her engagement yesterday by posting a selfie with her fiancé and a beautiful diamond ring. She captioned it simply, "Yes." The couple started dating back in 2014, and Morelli was married to writer Steve Basilone when she started working on Orange is the New Black, but in May 2014, she released an essay explaining how the show made her realize she was gay and in love with Wiley. That's all for entertainment. Now back to you in the studio.
That's going to do it for us here at OC News. Be sure to follow us on social media. You can find us under the OC News CSUF handle on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and YouTube.
Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week.